Hi everyone, hope you're all okay. I'm going to read a story today and I'm going to read Some of the World's Worst Children by David Walliams. And I'm going to start off by reading Peter Picker because I like this one, I think it's really funny. Some children like to blow their nose, some like to pick. Peter was a picker. The boy always had a finger up his nose, sometimes two, one in each nostril. The buried treasure he was searching for was of purest green, snot. Although he was short for his age, Peter Picker could pick an extensive and seemingly endless supply of it. Runny snot, gloopy snot, hard snot, snot balls, snot icicles. He was the lord of all that was green and slimy. After picking, the boy would give his latest morsel of snot a quick inspection and then add it to his ball of bogies. He had read in a book of world records that the biggest ever bogey recorded was produced by a rather hefty German girl named Fraulein Schleim. Hers was the size of a cannonball and weighed as much as a medium-sized pig. Although only 12, she already had a number of unsavoury world records to her name. The girl had produced the world's biggest block of earwax, which was the size of a tub of ice cream. Next, she was responsible for the world's largest shower of dandruff, managing to completely cover a football pitch just by untying her pigtails. The world record she was proudest of, however, was the one for the smelliest foot cheese. When she took off her steel-toe cap boots, the stench flattened every tree within a 10-mile radius. And there's a picture of her there. Propelled by the idea that he could earn a place in the Book of World Records, Peter Picker set about attempting to smash his rival's effort. He was determined to produce a bogey to end all bogies, a gargantuan ball of snot. He had started with just one ordinary medium-sized bogey. However, once he had stuck bogey after bogey to it, it became a super bogey, then a mega bogey. Finally, it progressed to being an ultra bogey. Now, every time the boy picked his nose, which was at least once every few seconds, he added to it. When Peter started, it was just the size of a pea, but with each new green globule, it grew. Soon it was the size of a conker, then a melon, then a football, then a snowman. The boy became so focused on entering the record books that he often bunked off school so he could spend all day picking his nose. Some pictures of his snot balls there. At first, Peter was able to carry this ball of snot around with him. When it became too big and heavy, the boy simply rolled it along the street. However, one morning on the way to school, Peter had accidentally run over his neighbour's cat, Ginger, and the poor creature had become embedded in the snot ball. The bogey was so sticky, Peter had to shave the cat's hair off to remove it. Meow! Now, the boy kept the sphere of snot safe in his bedroom. By the time of this story, the sphere of snot, or snot sphere for short, was the size of an asteroid. It looked like it had come from outer space, a kaleidoscope of greens, light green, dark green, green, not so green green. And there's a picture of him there with the cat. But with the new bogies being picked, licked and flicked onto it by the minute, Peter's snot sphere was becoming too big for even his bedroom. The boy's bed and wardrobe were crushed by the size and weight of this truly evil-looking ultra bogey. One morning, while rooting around his nostril, Peter found a particularly large booger. Without a second thought, he wiped it on the snot sphere, but this was one final piece too many, and the boy heard a buckling sound, twang. It was the floorboards creaking under the enormous weight of the ultra bogey. Peter raced out of his room and downstairs to the kitchen. Looking up at the ceiling, he saw cracks shooting across it. Crack. Then, before Peter could pick his nose again, the snot sphere crashed down through the ceiling and landed next to him. Boom! Ah! Screamed the boy as dust and debris covered him. Peter had very nearly been killed by his own mucus. And it was all on a roll now, literally, and heading straight for the boy. Peter dashed out of his house, but the snot sphere smashed through the wall, crash, and chased its creator down the street. Peter's parents stared down from their bedroom window. Their mouths were wide open, but no sound came out. Such was their shock at the scene. There's a picture of him chasing him here. Being made of compacted bogies, the Snotsophia was incredibly sticky. As a result, it picked up everything in its path as it rolled. A little dog, an old lady who was walking her little dog, a bicycle, a boy riding the bicycle, a lawnmower, a gardener using the lawnmower. Soon all these things and more were spinning wildly down the road, stuck to the Snotsophia. Peter's bogie was growing bigger and bigger. The bigger the bogie became, the faster it rolled. As Peter kept running and running and running away from it, the Snotsophia picked up a post box, uprooted a tree. Even a car became stuck to it. When the ever-growing Snotsophia rolled on top of a bus full of people and managed to glue itself to the roof, Peter really began to panic. And the people on the bus spun round and round like visitors to some nightmarish snot-themed amusement park. The boy realised he was running for his life. Now the Snotsophia was so huge it was picking up houses as it rolled. First a bungalow, then a large family home. What with the house, the bungalow, the bus, the car, the tree, the postbox, the lawnmower, the gardener using the lawnmower, the bicycle, the boy riding the bicycle, the little dog, and of course let's not forget the old lady who was out walking her little dog, all stuck to it. The Snotsophia was growing at a truly alarming rate. Peter had a plan. The only way he could survive was to go underground. That's where the Snotsophia could not reach him. Up ahead, the boy spied a drain and dashed towards it. Desperately, he pulled on the grate with all his strength. Please, please! His fingers slipped on the metal. They were wet and withered from being up his nose all day. Just in time, Peter managed to pull the grate off and leap into the murky depths below. Splash! The Snotsophia rumbled overhead. Peter breathed a huge sigh of relief which echoed around the drain. Ah! There's a picture of the Snotsophia there. When he felt he was safe again, the boy climbed back up to the surface, covered in grot from the drain. Peter watched as the giant Snotsophia spun off into the distance, picking up everything in its path. A fire engine, a parade of shops, even a herd of cows who had been minding their own business, getting on with some quiet mooing. Seeing the mass destruction his creation had caused, Peter Picker decided it was probably best not to mention it to anyone that he was the creator of this snotball of terror. With all that had happened, he was willing to let Fraulein retain the title for the world's biggest bogie. So Peter ambled down the road towards school. It was the first time he had attended for weeks. However, when Peter arrived at school, the gates, he realised his school was in fact no longer there. There was just dark patches on the playground where the school buildings used to be. Peter's spinning ball of doom must have rolled ahead of him this way too and sucked all the school buildings into it. All that could be seen was a lone pair of Wellington boots standing there where the dining hall used to be. The boots had belonged to the fearsome dinner lady, Mrs. Slaughter. No doubt she and all the teachers had been plucked up by the mega bogie too, Peter smirked. Ha ha! At least now I don't have to go to school ever again, he chuckled as he stood alone in the playground, feeling like the last man on earth. Then, just as he was about to turn around and head home, or at least what was left of his home, Peter heard a sound behind him. It was getting louder and louder by the moment. A rumbling sound, a thundering sound, a deafening sound. The ground was shaking beneath the boy's feet. Peter gulped in fear. He knew full well what it was. He could barely bring himself to turn around to face it, but he had to. Slowly he twisted his neck and saw that the great Snotsophia must have rolled all the way around the earth and was now heading back straight for him. By now it was the size of the moon and had picked up various landmarks on its epic journey. The Eiffel Tower, the Roman Colosseum, the Sydney Opera House, the Taj Mahal, St Basil's Cathedral, an Egyptian pyramid and the Houses of Parliament. All were sticking out of it like flakes in Mr Whippy ice cream. Buckingham Palace had been pulled out of the ground and rolled away too, exposing Her Majesty the Queen, red-faced and sitting on the loo. Ah! Peter screamed as the thing sped closer and closer. The mega bogie was by now so massive that it blocked out the sun. A huge dark shadow fell across the boy and he felt cold. Peter closed his eyes in terror as the Snotsophia rolled over him and plucked him clean off the ground. No! The The top of the boy's head was instantly embedded in the ball as it thundered its way off back round the earth. But Her Majesty the Queen was angry that everyone had seen her on the loo, so she ordered her palace guards to fire their cannon at the Snot Sophia. Fire at will! The cannonball zoomed towards the giant bogey. Kaboom! The Snot Sophia exploded into pieces that began to fall back down to earth, returning everyone and everything to their rightful places except one boy. Peter was still stuck in a huge chunk of snot. This piece flew through the air, only to land on top of St. Paul's Cathedral. His parents visited every Sunday and hurled him from the ground. Peter Picker remained stuck to the spire for the rest of his life, upside down in his own giant bogey, which is, of course, what can happen if you pick your nose. Next time, you have to blow. So hopefully that's taught us all a lesson not to pick our nose. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.